Hey everyone, another great question. Hi Claire. If nothing is real, then what is the point of exploring reality? That's brilliant, isn't it? It's the ultimate question. Um, the point of exploring reality is because it looks real. And it looks real because it's a projection of learned separation. And the more resistance there is to the reality, the more fear there is within it, shame, insecurity, desperate need, hopelessness, helplessness, the more that's a signal that this experience of self and other, of me and an external reality, is a like a in the moment creation of child wounds, really, of 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 beliefs learned during the formation of the idea of what I am and of what the world is, because it's that transfer from physical survival to the survival of the conceptual mind created entity that represents me, and which is a conglomeration of all the all the trauma, all the pain, all the wounds, all the shocks to the system that have been accumulated as the body mind was growing up. And so what emerges now in adulthood is a reality in which the me, that me, is struggling. And the reality looks absolutely separate, fixed and real and objectively true. And this me looks absolutely real, fixed, objective, independent. And within that experience, there is tremendous suffering. There is survival fear. There's absolute layers of unhappiness, of resistance, resentment, of shame and anger, sadness, lostness, isolation, all of it. And then in comes this conversation about reality, and that vulnerable idea of us, which hides away from any exposure because it's so unstable, it's so insecure, and it's so desperate to find stability, and it can only find stability in more of a evidence of its truth, really, of an increase in those beliefs. And so in comes a conversation that says there's no self, there's nothing real, and it's like the ultimate hiding place. So that whole vulnerable edifice of accumulated concepts of what I am, like, hides away behind this spiritual armor now. And so these things that are happening out there in the world that are confronting, I've got this new vocabulary now to say, well, that's not true, you're not true, this doesn't exist, there's no such thing as money, there's no such thing as violence or poverty or war, there's no such thing as these family members who disagree with me, or these friends that don't invite me out, or this partner that rejected me or is unfaithful. There's no such thing. None of it's true. It's all a dream. And yet here it is, day in, day out. We wake up, same reality, the same struggle, the same ongoing stress and tension and fight and flight going on in the body, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work to do a spiritual override with some nice language to say you're not true when it's there, and the bills are coming in, the issues are coming in at work, the kids are all over the place, the relationships are in tatters. It doesn't work to say this isn't real, this is just thought. It's a refuge, and the refuge is one of protection, and it's protecting the belief system that is creating all of this. That's the problem, and that's why spiritual bypass is absolutely something that is so easy to fall into. And so why would we explore reality when there's no such thing as reality? Is to get so honest in it, so open, so vulnerable, so accountable, so inquiring, so clear-sighted in that honesty, that reality changes before our eyes. We're in it so deeply that and with such inquiry, and the conscious mind no longer used as an unquestioned identified protector, really, of the belief of what we are, is now used as the open space that it really is, to allow everything to arise, to allow feelings in the body to be felt, to allow real rigor of attention on people and things and events and circumstances, to see what is there, what these layers are within us that are ready to be dissolved away, and they can only be dissolved away through truth, through such a rigor of inquiry, that and such honesty, that if something isn't true, it's seen in that moment. We can't there's no exposure to truth when we're backed off in a spiritual ivory tower saying nothing's true, nothing's true. The exposure to truth is in it, and that's for all of us. That's our purpose. There is no other purpose in life other than that. Nothing. That's the starting point. That's the foundation. That's our sanity. And before our eyes, like in the thing, relationships change, and money changes, and all the things that looked so difficult start to straighten out, because we're in them, and because the gaze of attention is like a laser shaving off what was never true in the first place. So yeah. that's all there is. That's all there is for us. And I would say any spiritual practice that allows for greater allowing of feelings within the body, and greater levels of inquiry and intimacy with apparent reality, brilliant. Any spiritual practice that denies the body, that cuts off feelings, that can be used as a barricade between me and the world, me and him, me and her, me and them, questionable. I mean, yes, it's the ultimate truth that is being talked about, but to get there, for most of us, and these teachers, sure, they might well have had this enormous total falling away, an absolute road to Damascus, revelation of ultimate truth. But for most of us, the way through, the way to realization is in the world, in reality, in relationships. That's the only way to avoid spiritual bypass. As long as reality is looking true, that's the only way. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Lots of love. Bye.